All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is one of the Jonathans from the Balloon Guild, and I am here with what I think is going to be a very exciting beginning of a relationship with a pair of ladies that after 2 seconds, you're going to be in love with them. And I think they're awesome. And this is Miss Megan and Ginger from Belbal Balloons.
Hi.
So you may wonder what Belbal Balloons is, if you're like me. Um, Yes, we will, this, like I said, beginning of the journey. And I think that I want to let you ladies introduce yourself. And then at the end, I'll get into your deepest, darkest secrets and we'll go from there.
Thank you. We're excited to be here. I'm Ginger and this is Megan.
Hi.
We are the owners of Premier Balloon Imports, and we are importing a latex balloon from Poland called Belbal, Belbal, and we are distributing it across the United States. So we are excited to introduce this latex balloon to the US market. Belbal has been around in Europe and overseas for 41 years. They are in over 60 countries worldwide. Very, very well established company. And we are now just able to be bringing them to the US.
We're very excited. Very high quality latex balloon, like Ginger said. Been around for a long time. They are the #2 producing balloon company in Europe. So they are great high quality balloons. We love the brand. We love the owners of the brand. They're fantastic. They're a married couple and they have been phenomenal to work with. And they and us are so excited to bring the balloons into the United States.
All right, so I will have a million questions that I am interested in, and I hope that everybody else is too. So we haven't had what would your need, like distributors, but like new baby distributors, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean you're at the, like, you guys are just coming into the States, right?
Yeah, just coming into the States, it's definitely been a journey. We've learned a lot. Our backgrounds, both balloon decorators. So during COVID, we realized that there was a need for more latex balloons with good quality. And so we really kind of started then and we're like, hey, how do we want to start a distributorship? And then the more we kind of went down the rabbit hole, we were like, okay, wait, there's so many other latex brands that aren't in the United States. And we tried balloons from all over the world, and Belbal, we just love them. We love using them. We love the colors. We love the company. We love that the company has a lot of green initiatives, which was also very important to us. And so we are just super excited to bring them in.
So you felt the need for another quality balloon, right? Which I get. And then what made you just start shopping? Like, I don't even know how to go outside of the United States shopping brands of balloons. Like, where did you, I still want to get into where y'all met because that's before all this, but I'm very curious. I have ADHD, so if I don't ask the question that's on my brain right now, I'm going to forget about it and then remember it later at another time when it's irrelevant. But how do you shop, like, other countries for balloons?
Google.
Yeah. a lot of
Okay.
a lot of following other in like balloon influencers, balloon decorators across the world. Some of them were hashtagging the balloons they used, things like that. So I mean, it was very much a research project of just taking
Sure.
time to figure out what else is out there.
And then, contacting them directly, having them send us samples and play around with the samples. Because we are both decorators, we knew exactly what quality we were looking for. So that was kind of the easy part. When we would get samples in, it would either be like yes or no.
Yeah.
No in between. So, and that's kind of how that started. Once we landed on Belbal, we pretty much knew that that was the balloon that we were gonna be trying to get. So,
Okay. So, I think that's cool. A lot of people are just afraid to ask for stuff, right? Because why would they send me samples of balloons? Why would they do that? You know what I mean? But like, because anybody can ask. But I mean, you guys had the courage to do that and to go after it.
Yeah, I definitely think it was us stepping out of our comfort zone and being like, wait, like we can do this, like taking the time, sending the emails, calling people over and over again to get those samples. So it's been great.
Cool. So families, what are you ladies rocking with families right now?
You can
So,
start.
yeah. So I've been married for, let's see, 12, almost 12 years now. And I have a 10-year-old little boy and an 8-year-old little girl. So kind of started out with balloon decorating because I was like, okay, I really love balloons. I love all the Pinterest photos, all the Instagram worthiness. And so just kind of started that way, was really with my kids' birthday parties. And then just that kind of snowballed, especially during COVID. People were doing all the drive-by birthday parties. And so it really just kind of expanded as far as the decorating business went. And, one great thing that came out of that was Ginger was actually kind of going back to how we met. Ginger, we're both in Nashville, Tennessee. That's where Premier Balloon Imports is located. So if you order anything from us, it ships directly from Nashville, Tennessee. But Ginger was in New Orleans at the time, and I was in Nashville, and we were two decorators just, trying to build that community and, basically bounce ideas off of each other. Like, hey, I don't know how to do this. Like, do you know how? And just, I will say, I feel like the balloon community is really good about community over competition, even though we weren't in the same city, that, we were willing to share. Like, I don't know how to do this. Can you help me?
So like, what are these colors on this invitation
Yes.
and what brand?
Yeah.
I need to order these yesterday. So I am, like Megan said, I'm from New Orleans, born and raised, and I have been married 16 years and have 3 kids, 13, 10, and 8. Megan is by trade a physical therapist. I am a speech therapist. And was working pretty full time up until COVID, which is when my kids were home from school. So I kind of stayed home with them. And that fall that they were going to go back to school, I was nervous they were going to go back for 2 weeks and then be home again, homeschooling. So first day they were at school, I sat there, I did a load of laundry, I called my friend. And she's like, oh, isn't it great? You're home alone. You're not working. You can just like kick your feet up and relax. Your kids are at school. And I was like, no, I am going crazy. I cannot sit here and just like relax. I have to be doing something. I had kind of played around with balloons a little bit that summer. My friend was having her first baby the next week. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make a balloon garland for her coming home. And once it started, I think a lot of people will agree that you start off by saying, I'm just going to do this on the side a couple days a week, make a little bit of extra money. Well, within 3 weeks, I think it had turned into a full-time 24/7 full-time job. At that time, Megan was friends with my cousin in Nashville, and my cousin put us in touch, and our friendship started. I mean, we spoke probably every other day for 2 years before we even met in person.
Wow.
And then fast forward to about a year and a half ago, my husband was offered a job up in Nashville, and we moved our family up here. And that's kind of when Megan and I really got together and said, hey, like, let's transition. I had sold my balloon decorating business in New Orleans and was ready for the next venture, and Megan was too. And so we decided to go ahead with this. So
Yeah, that's awesome. There's a lot that I really like about that. You guys spoke for like 2 years before you ever met.
yeah.
Just so you both have the personality that you're just like gonna be a friend with somebody and then just make sure that they are worthy of that after you're starting the relationship, right?
We were excited. So yeah, I mean, I think we'll also feel like we're we try and be pretty friendly. So definitely.
Awesome. I was gonna ask how you guys actually met, but you said through your cousin.
Yes.
Your cousin was just like, oh, you do balloons. I know somebody too. How did you meet her cousin?
Like my Nashville does balloons. She has this thriving business doing balloons in Nashville. You've got to meet her. So I think I called her like the next day and I said, Megan, like, you know, what are your favorite balloons? Who do you buy from? Like, how busy are you? What is your pricing like? And she shared all of that and we just went from there. And like we were saying, I mean, literally, like, I was supposed to order these balloons yesterday for this event next week. Like, what color, FaceTiming you right now, what color do you think this blue is on the invitation? So
Right. Cool. So you guys had your own little like mini mastermind, two-woman mastermind, right? That's what it sounds like. Just open door to each other's business.
yes.
Cool. So then
A lot of conversation too was what a lot of people felt during COVID was like the frustration of having to order balloons and not being able to get them, and having to, you know, order from a bunch of different distributors. I mean, I would spend a half a day trying to place an order. And you know, it was the manufacturers. It was just a hard time for the balloon manufacturers and distributors to keep up with the crazy growing demand. And we felt that as decorators. And so from the beginning, we were kind of like, gosh, like, how can we help resolve this problem? Like, how can we bring more balloons, high quality balloons to the decorating world? And so, this conversation has been going on for a long time. It wasn't until I got to Nashville that we sat down and said, all right, let's do this.
cool. So then you both, and it's my understanding that you're not doing decor anymore. You're full-time working on this, or do you still do decor?
So I still have a decorating business in Nashville that I have a few girls who are very kind and help just because Premier Balloon Imports really right now needs our full attention. And so that's where all of our time and energy is going right now is, you know, trying to grow this and get the awareness out about Belbal and all the new colors and everything that's coming in 2025.
Okay, awesome.
And I kept my business for a little bit when I moved to Nashville and had someone running it in New Orleans, and then I sold. And my business in New Orleans is continuing on, same name, just a new owner who's excellent. So
cool. Was now, and I like to ask a lot of questions that I feel like other people that may pertain to others. So I have a few, but one of them is you sold your business to somebody else. Did you already know that person?
no.
How did you go about selling your business then?
I marketed it on Instagram.
Okay.
I talked to probably 25 individuals or groups of individuals who were interested. Some had never touched a balloon before in their life. Some were balloon decorators already. And I ended up selling to a girl who has a crafting business, very, very crafty, very smart, big entrepreneur. So she had done balloons before just for her child's parties, you know, friends' parties and things. So I trained her and it was a very smooth transition. She's doing great. We were lucky in that it was smooth.
Yeah. I know, so I've bought like, I want to say 7 businesses from people, and I know people are always like, how did you do that or whatever. So I like to hear other people's, you're on the other side of that coin.
Yeah.
Okay.
That Ginger takes the time if she has any questions to, you know, kind of help, and you did make it a very smooth transition.
Yeah.
For everyone,
oh yeah. And
great.
She'll, you know, contact me and we have a great relationship. So it's been great.
I think you have to. I would never have bought a business when I didn't trust the person selling it to me was going to help me make
Right.
it succeed. Because if you just walk away from it and don't care what happens to it, then you probably haven't cared for a long time and you're handing me like something that's just on its downward slide already. So,
Well, like time and effort was put into building such a great business that you know, I want to see it succeed. And you know, people in the community count on you. You have all of these clients that are like, wait, like you can't go anywhere. So I was glad, you know, like she kept the same name, and it was a great transition, and she's done really well.
sure. So you ladies have met the owners of Belbal, it sounds like.
Yes.
Um, so when you contacted them, did you, and again, I'm not asking as a blueprint for somebody else, I'm just curious, like you went on their website, contact us form or whatever, sent a message, and then just through that communication ended up getting to the owners and having a real conversation about being in the US?
Yeah, so it really was just, filling out contact forms, sending the emails, asking for the samples, and really, us following up. I think the big game changer for us, like we said earlier, was just trying all of these different balloons. But when we tried Bell Ball, we were both like, okay, this is something. And just, really taking the time. I will say, I feel like it was really good timing for us. And the fact that everything had kind of come together. The owners are fantastic. We could not have a better relationship. We couldn't ask for better owners to be working with, as we're still kind of learning too. And they've been invaluable, the resources they've been able to share with us and everything. So.
And I think it was really great timing. Like they are in a spot now that I think, maybe years ago they wouldn't have been able to expand to the US market because the US market is so huge. But they are in a position now that everything's running very smoothly. They have a new factory. Unfortunately, their previous factory caught on fire how many years ago?
Oh,
10?
Around 10 years ago.
And so they had to rebuild, but now it's new machinery. And so they're able to produce a lot of balloons and supply the mass amount of distributors overseas, and now us as well. So
That's cool. And I'm assuming that this for you ladies is an exclusive, like you are the Bell Ball American ladies and there will be no others kind of a
Yep.
situation.
Yes, it's us. Y'all are stuck with us.
I think that's exciting. And here's what I like for you, and we've talked about this a little bit, and I'm excited to share that we are going to be able to follow you on this journey as you guys grow, and we'll check in because I don't expect anybody in the Balloon Guild right now is going to be trying to launch a new balloon line, which I will have a question to you about in a second. But I'm just super interested to see how it works and to follow your journey and to get in your business as much as you're willing to share with us the ups, downs, just because I think like we're used to buying balloons from manufacturers and distributors that are just there already.
yeah.
They've been there for a while, and I've met some of the distributors and found out like, whoa, you were almost not here like 10 times over. You almost quit and threw in the towel, but this thing happened and that thing happened and you couldn't quit because of this, and now you have a very successful business. And that's, to me, I love those stories, and I think that's what people are about, is sharing life and stories together. So if you're willing to share the goods, the bads, and all that, I would love to hear about it, and I would love to share that with the Balloon Guildies.
Yeah,
Which I think would be cool.
we're kind of in book. So
Right on. So then this is a hard-ish question, maybe. I don't want you to take it the wrong way. But when I hear, because man, I'm telling you, I went to Float last March, so almost a year ago, and there were like 4 or 5 different balloons that I never heard of before, and they were all there. I know that there are some companies now that are now getting into 260s, and then there's like a foil company that's putting out latex, and I'm like, and then there's just all these new brands. And the first thing my brain has said is, here's what we're dealing with from my perspective. Clients who want this specific color, and the fact that I have 3 colors that are very close isn't good enough. They want that one. And I want to just tell them, put your face right here. Like, it's good enough. Like, in my mind, I don't need more balloon colors. I don't need more balloon brands. I made my own color chart, and it's very specific. You ladies said this idea started in 2020, right? So I definitely think at that time, things were different than they are now.
Yeah.
Yes.
But with the state of things now, where there's like 20 different new balloon brands, I want to know for you ladies, I'm not asking where the idea came from or where you felt the need is, because again, in 2020, 100%, I think right on the money. But what sets your balloons apart from anybody else's that are out there right now, or the 20 new ones that are out, or whatever?
I would say one thing that really sets the Belbal balloons apart is they are a high quality balloon. They're the premier printing balloon in Europe. So the same strength and durability maybe that you were used to with a different brand, you can find that in Belbal balloons. So they are very strong. Obviously, Ginger in New Orleans, me in Nashville, we have very hot, humid climates. Where we have used these balloons, so they're great for outdoors. They are not thin, and we're really proud of them. I think one thing that we feel like is the balloons are going to sell themselves. They're great quality, so now we just need people to love us just as much as they're going to love the balloons, so everyone can try them. So I feel like that's kind of where we are. When we started this endeavor, we did not have the knowledge that there were going to be 20 new brands coming on the market with latex, and that may be for the better, because who knows, we may have gotten discouraged at the time. And so I think, everything happens for a reason. And I think we just really lean into that. And, the balloons are here and we think they'll sell themselves. And we're just kind of along for the ride with that.
Also, Belbal comes out with a lot of new colors every year. This year, they just introduced 14 new colors. So now there are 16 glossy colors, which are like the shiny chrome. Belbal names them glossy. So 16, which is a wide array of colorful, shiny balloons. So we also have a lot of printed balloons.
I know, I'm like, I don't know how close I can get this, but we have some really fun prints, which I think it's for decorators. I know, trying to change it up, add some texture to your organic garlands and whatnot. So those are really fun too.
Cool. So when you were testing balloons, what kind of things were you ladies looking for? The testing phase, like how did you test them?
Thickness, the weather resistant, we would blow up balloons and leave them outside for a while. We made garlands, we compared colors, really every which way. Size.
Do they have streaks? Size was a big thing. I would say some balloons that aren't in the US don't come in all the sizes that, are primarily used. I feel like most decorators use 5, 12, 17, 24, and 36, or, give or take an inch of those. And a lot of balloons that, we had looked at only came in, maybe 12 and 17 or 5 and 12. And it was really important to us, and as we talked to distributors, that they wanted the full range of sizes, which definitely makes sense as decorators. You want those big sizes that you can add in. And let's say I did a lot of helium 36-inch balloons with my garlands, and so they could be customized and written on and whatever. And you want the colors to match. So it really is important to have all the variety of sizes. So that was a big factor too.
So, and do they come in all the sizes and every single I call it a texture, but what do you call like the different groupings of like glossy? I think your other one is pastel, is more matte, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So
so,
we
There's pastel standard, I'm looking at this, there's crystal, transparent, metallic, and glossy. They all come in those sizes that Megan just mentioned, except for glossy does not come in 36 inch, just 5, 12, 17, and 24.
okay, cool. And I'll show people, I put a link to your website on the chat already for
Great.
people to be able to go to. And then I will take people to your website on a screen share before we're done.
And if they shoot us an email if they're interested to get some samples, we're happy to send samples with the color chart. So just if anyone wants to reach out, we'd love to share.
Okay. Well, I like that your balloons come in every size and 36 inch to me isn't, that one's not a deal breaker because I don't like using 36 inch balloons unless it is literally with helium and some stuff under it. I don't like putting 36 inch balloons in most of the garlands that we make. I feel like it's kind of a little bit of a waste because I never inflate them all that way anyway. So 24 inch is a good size. So that's kind of a big deal. I think you're right on the money with that one.
I would say with our 36 inch, one thing just from a personal standpoint, I do a lot of helium 36 inch, and finding a balloon that is round and 36 inch sometimes is hard. And sometimes it's difficult to find balloons to write on. Some of the different balloon brands hold ink better than others, paint pens, et cetera, whatever you may use on yours. Vinyl, yes. So our Belbal balloons are pretty round. And so we're really proud of that. And so if you need 36 inch round, give us a call. We'll send you some samples of those as well.
Use a lot of them. Okay, so here's the question. I use a lot of 36 inch for pool jobs all the damn time, all the time. Seems like nobody wants anything in their pool except those. Are the necks big enough to put the puck lights in? Do you guys know what I'm talking about with I think they're like 3 inch.
Yes, actually, I may have one right here. You'll keep chatting. Let's see.
What's been the hardest thing so far in this process from concept to like you're starting to have them in the United States now?
Just so you can see.
So yeah, big old neck.
Yeah, the necks really stretch out for you to be able to put the puck in there.
So here's another question before the one that I just asked.
Yeah.
My wife will murder me if I don't ask it. Tying a 36 inch balloon is her least favorite thing to do with balloons at all, ever. Because it can be difficult. And I know you said your balloons are thick, which is good, but that also lends itself to being kind of harder to tie. Have you noticed that is, I don't know that there's really one that's not hard to tie unless it's a really thin balloon.
Right. Especially in the 36 inch, I will say, I feel like they are easy to tie just based on the other ones that I've used for 36 inch. They are thick, but I don't notice any difference, I guess I would say, between tying these and tying other 36 inch balloons.
Sure. Okay.
My least favorite balloon to tie is a 5 inch pearl type metallic balloon. I think some of those from some brands can be really, really difficult. We have played around with our 5 inch metallic, and they are very easy to tie. So it's funny your wife has that with 36 inch. I have that with the 5 inch.
There's things that she will, so she didn't like using the Air Bucket 4 is what she calls it. The Air Force 4. She hated that machine, and she swore up and down by the Precision Air or the Twin Air. And then she started using the Air Force 4. Now every time she has to use the Twin Air, she's like, it's so slow. Like, I hate it. I'm like, you just don't like things until you get comfortable doing them. And then you see, like, helium right now, she doesn't want to do helium. And 3 foot balloons are right now. And again, learn to tie them real quick, not a problem.
Yeah.
But when you get one stuck on your hand and your fingers are turning blue, that's a big time problem. Okay,
Absolutely.
so to date, what has been the biggest obstacle that you ladies have run into from
Uh,
conception to being here?
the port strike. I would say was the biggest obstacle of the East Coast. port strike.
Why, Megan? Why was that our biggest obstacle?
So our container arrived, our first set of balloons that came into the US arrived the day that the US ports closed. Which, you know, has not happened in 70 something years. It's been forever. And so that was the biggest challenge, was the US port strike. Our balloons actually got to get a round trip ticket all the way from Europe to the US, back to Europe, and back to the US. So I would say that was definitely, like I said earlier, we've definitely learned a lot through this process. And a lot of it is just trial and error and hope for the best. Fingers crossed that that is not something that, you know, we anticipated or was even something was a concern from our shipping carrier to Belbal to us. No one, you know, had that even on the radar that that could be something that happened, and it did. And I feel like, you know, it's one of those things now we can laugh about it. At the time we were obviously not laughing, but you know, it was a real thing that happened, and just learning to navigate that. I think next time we'll have, you know, better ideas if there ever comes to be another port strike, and you know how to kind of work around that. So
I think one thing as well is timing of bringing everything together has been a challenge to figure all of that out. So one thing that was really, really important to us is that before we started selling, we wanted to make sure our balloons were here in our warehouse, ready to ship the day someone wanted to buy. We did not want to sell a bunch of balloons and then something like the port strike happened where we had, you know, a month delay. And so we waited to market. We didn't want to start marketing and, you know, telling everyone our balloons are here, they're ready to sell, look at all these great colors, because we didn't want people calling us and then us having to say, oh, but they were not going to be here for another 1 to 2 months. And so trying to figure out all of the timing and how everything fit together, it's kind of like what comes first, the chicken or the egg. So now that our balloons are here, we're launching a big marketing campaign that's going to be happening next week and the week after to start out with. And so, you know, it's really kind of tested our patience as well, because we so badly wanted to be like, this great balloon is coming to the US and look at it and look at all the colors. But we kind of had to, like, you know, hold ourselves back a little bit and ease into it just because we needed to make sure the balloons were here and ready to go. So now that they are here and we're ready to go, we can, you know, yell to everyone, come get your balloon.
So what has the port strike taught you? Like, let's say that was going to happen again. How would you either prepare for that to happen so it doesn't affect you, or?
So I think the thing that just happened with our first container. So the thing now is that, like, we have a warehouse that will be fully stocked. You know, we won't run out of balloons and then place our next order with Belbal. So we'll always be able to have the balloons available to ship out to distributors.
So we'll never have a lapse of inventory. So now I think we're just prepared for it. And like I said, you know, we wouldn't have really been aware of that. And so now it's like, okay, you know, and we just keep it fully stocked. So we're never saying, oh, it's going to be, you know, 30 days or, oh, it's going to be 2 weeks. Like, we just have continuous stock. So we're just keeping everything really full. And I think that's kind of our plan.
How long have you been actively selling Belbal, like through your website or wherever you're selling them at right now?
Yeah, so I think part of it was, you know, the port strike happened, and like Ginger said, just talking with distributors, they really wanted to ensure that the product was in the United States. They don't want it, in 6 months, they want it now. And so that was one thing that we kind of took, especially, talking to distributors over the past year was, we want it now kind of mentality of like, we want to know it's already here. So when we're ready, you're ready. And so we really waited, and then we really wanted to do a big marketing push. So I would say we started really pushing stuff out in November, probably mid-November, and then obviously Christmas holidays. A lot of people take off and a little slower in January, which I think is nice because now we're leading into spring, which is so crazy. I'm like, graduation's going to be around the corner. I know that's weird to say in January, but from a decorating standpoint, it starts. I mean, right away.
Have kids, it's like you have kids, there's a fast forward button put on your life, and all of a sudden, every time you turn around, it's like another year's passed. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And in business too, like things move at the speed of light sometimes until you're waiting for a paycheck, then it seems to take forever. So, and again, I'm a nosy dude, and I love business, and I could talk about business all day, and I'm a very open book too. And you can tell me if like it's none of your damn business, Gerber, like you don't need to ask these kinds of questions. But I can imagine there's a substantial investment required to do the things that you ladies are doing right now. And then all of a sudden you also get hit immediately. It sounds like immediately. Your first order was delayed, right? So I'm not talking like you're rolling and then all of a sudden, oh no, this happened. Like your first one. Like, how many diapers did you go through, peeing your pants, worried about like, oh my gosh, like what's happening? We've invested so much and time and effort and money and like talk to me about like the courage I mean, I'm assuming you've had to have courage to be sitting here still at this and not just try to somehow make it all.
And very supportive
I was
husband.
going to say the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that, it is like we knew going into this that it was going to be a large investment. And we, our husbands were on board. They're so supportive and proud of what we're doing. And we have kind of said from the beginning, like everything we make for a while is going to go back into the company. We're not paying ourselves right now. And so we just knew that from the beginning that we weren't, going to be trying to support our families week by week with this business from the get-go. Hopefully one day.
That's the goal.
But right now, we kind of just had that mindset from the beginning. And so, to be on the same page with that, have our husbands on the same page, it's been really good.
I will say, just my personality standpoint, I don't know if I would have been able to take on this endeavor without a partner. It's just been so nice to be able to talk through it and say, oh my goodness, if I'm like, what are we going to do? She's like, okay, vice versa. Like we're able to kind of really work together and, come up with solutions. If one of us is like, what do? We have the other one to bounce ideas off of and really problem solve together, which has been really helpful.
Yeah. And I mean, being in a partnership for the Balloon Guild, I feel kind of the same. Like I'm kind of more impulsive, ready to just go all in. And John's like, maybe we should wait and slow our roll. And I'm like, oh, but then in the long run, I'm like, it wouldn't hurt to wait. So I can do that where it might hurt to go all in and run forward. So, and my wife, not that John's like my wife, but the checks and balances and my wife and I are never both down at the same time. So the other person can be that calming force and like, I know you're stressed, but it's going to be okay. And then it is okay. And you realize you're right. My wife is right all the time. So, okay. Well, I could talk with y'all forever and I want to, and I think that we can continue the conversation through additional videos in the future. If you're a member of the Balloon Guild, these videos will probably be right after the one you're watching right now in some playlist somewhere. And if you ladies are willing to let me be nosy on your journey, I would love to follow. And I mean, like just already hearing, and that's business. Like you told me you have problems right out of the gate. If you didn't say that, what are you hiding? This
Right.
isn't reality. Like it sounds too easy. I don't believe you, right? You're telling me like your business got gut punched right out of the gate. Yeah, I get it. That seems about right, right? Otherwise, and I like to say, if everything went my way, life would be really boring.
Yeah.
It's the hard stuff. It's the picking yourself up off the mat. It's the losing before you can feel good about winning kind of a thing that makes the winning so good. So I'm excited to follow your story. A couple of questions, and then we will get into the 20 questions that I have. Uh,
Okay.
where can people find Belbal balloons?
So we're about to publish our list of distributors. We're still kind of wrapping up a few loose ends. So if you follow us at Premier Balloon Imports or on our website, we should be publishing this shortly and have several big announcements. So we're super excited. So stay tuned.
Cool. I'm going to show people your website real quick, and then we'll jump into the questions. So I'm going to share my screen. You guys can see this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go to Premier Balloon Imports, this is I selected the colors and sizes part, right? This is what you'll come to. Homepage, cool lady with some balloons right there. And then for colors and sizes, and this is what I noticed, you guys use the term pastel, which I'm assuming when I look at all of these colors, that just means they're not shiny.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And you can see there's a good assortment of colors.
Our new color chart that will be uploaded onto the website soon has pastel / standard. In Europe, they use pastel as their standard, and so we asked them to write standard next to it just to not confuse anyone here in the US.
Sure.
And then crystal has transparent next to it.
Right.
So yeah.
I got you. I really want to see this wild pigeon. That one looks
I know, right?
like a really cool balloon. And then your glossy, you said that there are 16, right?
Now.
Yes. So they added 5 new, and one of them I think is going to be beautiful. The light pink and light purple, we've already just recently did something with that, and the light blue. But our light almond is such a pretty color. So we're really looking forward. We think everybody's going to love that one for sure.
Okay. And then you have your transparent balloons that are super bright, colorful, and you can see through them, right?
And new for 2025, you'll be able to see next week on our website, we have soap colors that are more, how do you describe those?
They're similar to the crystal transparent, but they're more pastel looking. They're really pretty. There's like
bubbles.
Yes.
Okay.
Like,
so there's soap yellow, soap red, soap purple, soap orange, soap blue, and soap green, along with the other crystal colors.
Okay, pretty cool. And then you have a good assortment of metallics as well, which I like to see. And then for those of you who make your own catalogs, you can download this, you can copy and paste into your own. Now, I will say for the Balloon Guild that we have something we are working on. I will describe it to you, and then I will tell you that as soon as we had it ready to roll, Canva made a change. And remember what we just talked about? Great ideas right out of the gate. You got gut punched. Literally, John and I have spent a few weeks working on this idea, creating the products we need to make this happen in Canva. And then within days of it being done, all of a sudden they changed a feature that just kneecapped us from this whole thing. And now we have to kind of start over to make it work. But on our recipes, we're going to be creating recipes where we're going to have balloons on it, where you pick the balloon or the circle of color, and then you can change every color to match whatever color you want. I don't know if that makes sense, but example is if you have a column that is black and white, and we make a 2-color spiral column, and you want to change the column to blue and white, you will select the black balloon, and then it'll bring up a color area for you, and then you will select blue, and it will change all the black balloons to blue ones. And then you have a blue and white 2-color spiral column. We're doing this for people who use Canva, who want to modify these recipes for themselves. And I'm also excited. The reason I bring that up is because the fine ladies at Belbal have said that they are going to be introducing, first of all, they're the February guest designers, which is pretty awesome. And they have a few designs they're going to share with us. But they have agreed to share one video tutorial design a month, forever. I'm just saying, but for as long, like they haven't put an end date on it right now, but one Bell sponsored video design a month that could, I mean, who knows where that's going to go, but it's going to be one video tutorial a month that the Balloon Guild will host for Bell. And what we will do is we will be using specifically their colored balloons in the recipe. And that's why at the end of the recipe, you will have all of their colors, where if you wanted to change black to the blue, you could, or whatever, in the Canva. So we're going to make the Canva written recipes to go with their video recipes every month. So I'm really excited about that. That's one video recipe a month. And they're going to be February's designers, which, what are you guys sharing in February?
Oh, okay. And we are sharing our lovely and inspired by New Orleans, our balloon dog right here. Sorry. We've named him our mascot. He's Crew. We have our balloon frame behind us. We have an octopus over here. We're also sharing a heart, a snowflake. So lots of fun things coming up. We're super excited.
It's exciting. And I'm excited that they're going to be videos. I know people learn in a lot of different ways. I've had some people, oh, I really want videos for this. So we have something called, is what I call them. I just call them build with me sessions. And what that looks like is, hey guys, I have to build whatever this thing is. And if it's a recipe that we have on our website, I will usually let people know, if you want to jump on Zoom, I'll turn Zoom on. And this is a non-formal, it's an informal, we're just hanging out. You can watch me build this gingerbread man. That's a recipe. And then we have people kind of jump in and out, and they just like to see the process. You're more than welcome at any time to say, hey, we're going to do this thing. If you guys want, I'm inviting you to let us know when you want us to record anything for you. And then, like I said, we'll put it in the video series because I'm excited. Very happy to have met you ladies.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to do this with 2 people, but I really want to hear both of your answers. So maybe you can take turns who answers first.
Okay.
And like I said, some of these are super easy. Some of them may be a little bit more in depth. Favorite color?
Pink. Green.
What kind of green? Like
a forest green.
okay, darker green.
Yeah.
Favorite food?
Lasagna.
Pizza.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It doesn't. I really don't care about who answers first. I don't even know why I said that. Okay, pizza. What kind of pizza now?
Prosciutto and arugula from Pizza Dominica in New Orleans.
Okay, those are both cheeses. Is that?
What?
Are both of those cheeses the names you just used?
Oh, arugula is like
That's a vegetable, isn't it?
yeah, and then prosciutto.
And that, okay.
Yes.
I think I've heard of. You're one of those ladies that when I go to these restaurants, I read the menus and I'm like Googling words. Like I don't even know what this says or what it means. Went to a Mediterranean restaurant. I literally couldn't even read their menu. And it was English words, but just naming items I never heard of. I'm not that cultured, I guess. Okay. If you could live in one time period, past, present, or future, which time period would it be?
That's a tough one.
I mean, now.
I know. Yeah. And we're both going.
I mean, now or like take me back to the 90s.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not you ladies, but I want to be in the future to see where this goes. With
Like,
this relationship. And again, that's just my part. You guys have families, you don't want to fast forward through all that. I get it, but I'm like, okay. Favorite movie or movie types if you're not super specific.
Father of the Bride.
wow, probably like Field of Dreams.
Okay. All right. Same question for a book. Favorite book or book types?
Anything by Kristen Hanna. I like historical fiction.
I like beach reads.
Like what?
Like beach reads, something like a romance novel that's easy to read. You're laying
like
on the
Ellen
beach.
Hilder.
Yeah.
Hilderbrand.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you, gosh, I can't think of the name of it. Bridgerton, is that what you're talking about? When you say historical fiction? Is that
Yeah, that would be,
okay?
yeah.
Okay, I got you. Holiday, favorite holiday.
Christmas.
Favorite balloon type. So what I mean by this is like I call them textures, but they're like your glossy, your pearl or metallic, your
Glossy.
what's that?
Glossy.
Yeah. Okay. Weirdest job you've ever had. It
I
could
work-
be balloon related or not, but like normally by this time I would already know what weird stuff you guys did as kids, but there's a lot to talk about that wasn't.
I worked in a bead shop in one summer in college.
Bead? Like
Bead, like stringing, like people come in and string beads to make necklaces and yeah.
I've worked at a lot of daycares.
okay.
Yeah.
How like what age range were you when you did it? You said in college for the bead shop.
Job in college.
Sure.
Daycare, the kids were like 0 to 5, but I worked there from the time I was 17 to college. So 20,
Okay.
was working there. Lots of cool stories.
All right. If you could meet one person of any time ever, who would that person be?
Martin Luther King.
George Washington.
Oh, all righty.
Say Taylor Swift, 100%.
Same.
If you could spend a day anywhere.
The beach.
The beach.
All right. You guys don't have beaches in Nashville, right?
No.
The
No beach.
the Gulf Coast beach, to be specific.
Yeah.
If you could shadow any job for a day.
Maybe a comedian or Taylor Swift when she was in concert.
Huh. Maybe a big name designer.
Okay. Like fashion designer? All right. Favorite toy growing up?
This wasn't really a toy, but it was stuffed animals, Beanie Babies. I had
Okay.
a as a kid.
I had a stuffed animal named Sarah. She's a cat. I loved her, but I also loved playing GI Joes with my brother.
Really? All right. I was the GI Joe kid, and I had a neighbor who was the Transformer kid.
Oh,
We both specialized in our toys, and we had a bunch of them. And so the Beanie Babies, did you have the net in the corner of your room filled with them?
Yes, a ton of them. I mean, we would go, my grandmother and mom would take me and we would stand in line and like you would draw the number to see what number you were going to be able to get to go in to buy the collectible Beanie Babies. I mean, it was a whole
do you
thing.
still have them?
I do not still. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think my parents were like, okay, get rid of these when they moved. So I don't think I have them anymore.
See, I had a little donkey stuffed animal that I had until I was probably 19, and it was so ratty. but it was, my mother told me it was, somebody gave this to me as a gift when I was born. So this was like, this donkey was as old as I was. And I had a spiteful BA girlfriend who threw that donkey in a, I didn't know. All of a sudden, donkey was gone, and I had no idea what happened to it. She got rid of it.
Oh, that's terrible.
It really is. Still salty about it. Okay, what did you want to be when you grew up as a kid?
Pediatric oncologist.
I wanted to be a social worker.
Okay. Favorite, do you guys podcast? Favorite kind of podcast?
True crime.
Same.
Alrighty. Favorite type of music?
Pop.
Yeah.
Pop or oldies for
And
me.
country. We live in Nashville, country music.
Yeah, I guess that's, Nashville's where you have the most talented servers, right?
Yes.
Tables.
I'm still trying to love country. It's a process.
We'll bring her around.
All right, do we have any bucket list items?
I want to go to the Summer Olympics. That is on my bucket list.
Okay.
I just want to do more traveling anywhere. I've not traveled a lot, and so just really any travel.
Have you ever been to a beach, like an actual beach?
Yeah, I've been to the beach, but like I
Okay.
want to. Haven't really been overseas very much.
Sure.
That's kind of my bucket
We are planning a trip to Poland, to the Belbal factory, probably. So
Oh, this was a question, ADHD. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it, and then I forgot it till just now. Will you guys be willing to, and I'm putting you on the spot with this, give us a tour of your warehouse at some point?
Yes.
Is that a possibility?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be live. It could just be like a little video tour that we can share with the group. I think that would be cool to see what that looks like.
Yes, and maybe when we're in Poland, we can do another one.
Yeah, if they would let you. I know that manufacturers keep those things close to the chest sometimes.
Yes.
But whatever they will let you share, that would be fun to see. All right. If you had a spirit animal, what would it be?
I would say my own dog. I mean, I love my dog.
I'd say a giraffe. I've always loved the giraffe. Mysterious and really cool and unusual.
I
And
like that.
I don't think I've ever had anyone say giraffe. That's a good one.
yeah.
What do you love about giraffes?
What do I love?
Yeah, what do you like about them?
The colors, and the necks, obviously.
They definitely have a lot of style. Now that you mention it, they're a very stylish animal. Okay. If you could go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Be patient.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
Pick balls with your kids and your spouse.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could rule the world and make one thing change, like, and it would actually change, doesn't matter what it is, this isn't a realistic question, but if you could change one thing about the world and it would be forever changed, what would that be?
Global warming.
A
You want it to just heat up.
Happier place life.
a happier place for our kids.
Okay. Institutional happiness.
Yes.
All right. No, that would be good. People smiling more often. All right, 2 more questions, which actually puts us over 20. But if you could know the day you're gonna die, would you want to know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Why not? Why not? And then why?
I don't know. I feel like my personality, I would just be thinking about that day and not focusing on being present. So I don't think I want to know.
But I feel like you would be more present and wouldn't take anything for granted.
But we have a good partnership, right?
Yeah, no, there's no right or wrong answer. Everybody's different. That's why I like these questions, because I honestly, as many people as I've asked this question to, maybe I would have to go and listen. Maybe somebody has said dog, but I don't think we've had a single person have the same spirit animal as any other person yet.
Wow.
And there's been like 20-ish, maybe 15 to 20 guest designers. I'm surprised we don't have like 6 lions or something. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. All right, last question. This is gonna really determine if we already get a speed bump in our friendship or not, is if you can even answer this question, then we are good to go. If the sorting hat was placed upon your head, what house would it say?
Is this like house like Harry Potter?
Okay, so yeah, it is.
Okay. I'm not a Harry Potter person.
But you still understood the question. So
The question. Oh,
maybe not all the goodie points, but you still got some.
did we get a few?
You did. Some people are like, I have no idea what you just said. In fact, what I've noticed is probably half of the balloon people that I'm meeting don't know dilly squat about Harry Potter.
Oh.
So, all right, I'll describe the 4 different ones just so you can tell me which one you would fall into. Hufflepuff, they don't really, they're like the kind of silly, more jovial types. You have Ravenclaw that are kind of serious. I wouldn't say noble, they're just more serious minded. You
Okay.
have Slytherin, and they're very, very power hungry. They're usually the bad guys, but they're more about power. Like the house, they're not just necessarily bad, but they're like power above all cost. And then you have the Gryffindor that are like the more regal, noble types. They're the goody two shoe types.
I want to be in Hufflepuff.
I probably the last one, Gryffindor.
Gryffindor, yeah, okay. I've been told I shouldn't even ask this question because of how many people don't know it, but I'm still gonna ask it every time. See, Joette said, I'm surprised you still ask the question when most designers have no idea. I just have to find out. That's all it is.
One point.
Yeah, and Joette's one of the ones who didn't have any idea. But here's the deal. Even your answer to the question, I like to hear because you're, like Captain America versus Iron Man, joking and all that stuff.
Kong versus Godzilla, which
Yeah.
I watched the other night.
Okay, there you go. All right, so I'm gonna turn this over to our guest. If anybody has any questions, I would say unmute yourself, and then here's what I need you to do though, is I want you to state your name, say something you're grateful for, and then fire off your question. And then if multiple people unmute themselves at the same time, then we'll just get some measure of control.
Ooh, I'm going to be first. Hi, my name is Bergen. I live in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. I have so much to be grateful for. I'll be funny. I'm so grateful for the guild. They will tell you right now I'm their biggest promoter. I absolutely love them. I don't have a single question except for I just want to tell Megan I met you at Fulcrum and you're amazing and super nice. And I didn't know anything about Belbal. And I got this random package in the mail because I used to buy all my scent protects from Balloons Online. And I don't know if they were like, here's a new brand, but they actually sent me your the portfolio.
Oh,
for
good.
Belbal, right? But I was like, what? I don't know what this is, but now I have it. So I'm actually really excited now that I know and after I met you. So I just wanted to say hi, and I'll see you again.
Yes, I know. Yes, we'll be at Float in 2026. I'm like, what year are we in now? No, it was so nice to meet you too. It was so fun.
And Bergen's awesome. She's a rock star. Christy has texted, how do we get samples?
If you will either email us or Instagram, if you want to follow us on Instagram and send us a DM, and we will send you some samples for sure.
What is your Instagram?
Premier Balloon Imports.
Is there underscores or anything?
Nope, all together.
Okay, import with S at the end, right? Import?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna just type it in. So that you would get that through Instagram. Premier Import.
We'll be for the DM.
And I would say thanks. It's a pleasure getting to hear about you guys. I love these all the time. And I love when Gerber goes through and asks all these crazy questions that have nothing to do with anything. Like that's one of my favorite parts. I'm just sitting there like, what is he going to ask this time? So I think it's always great to hear the answers too. And I will say that I'm grateful that I'm with my family. I've been away from my family for about a month. And so getting back with them yesterday was really great. My daughter left me a note and made my bed and said, I made your bed and I missed you and I cleaned my room and I hope that I get to see you and you're as excited to see me as I am to see you. So that was super sweet and awesome. So that's what I'm grateful for. But it was great to listen to you guys today, and I'm excited about trying out some Belbal.
Thanks.
Does anybody else?
Hi,
Yeah.
it's Kathy. And I am thankful for the sun shining, which is not a typical thing in wintertime in the Pacific Northwest. My
Oh.
question is, I'm assuming that you're lining up distributorships and that's how we will order the Belbal balloons is from the distributorships that you are going to make known when that paperwork is all figured out.
Yes, absolutely. If in the meantime you want to try out some samples, we'd love to send you some.
I already sent you an email. Thank you.
Yeah, great.
Any other questions? I appreciate you ladies. I'm really, I mean, I'm not just saying it. I'm really excited. I love business. So it's gonna sound bad. My first entrepreneurial business was selling illegal substances to party kids. And I also was my own client, and I would not be my own client for periods of times to make sure that I wasn't addicted. And I was always like, make sure you're not addicted to this stuff. But what I didn't realize was the selling was so addictive for me. Like I could not stop selling. It was so much fun, making money. And again, not the right way to make money, but that's when I realized, man, you got to do your own thing, because that was a blast. And now on the, good Lord, making things good. Like I make more money now than I did as a drug dealer. So that's pretty good. And it's the right way, and it takes care of my family. I don't have to worry about getting arrested. But all that to say, I love absolutely everything about business, and I like being a part and hearing about other people's business. So I'm very, very eager to hear. And you ladies are more than welcome at any time to shoot like, hey, what do you think about this idea? I will keep my mouth shut on things that don't need to be shared with others. I'm very good at that. And I teach sometimes and stuff like that. I've taught for Sempertex, and I've known things about them that I haven't shared with people because I wasn't allowed to. So I'm good at keeping those secrets. But for real, if you need somebody to help with brainstorming, shooting ideas out there, you're more than welcome to shoot me a message anytime. And I want you guys to be, you should have access to our group. I want you guys to be a part of the group. It should also be a good place for you to shoot.
Yeah.
If you want feedback from the people who are going to use your product, it's a great place to ask questions and see what people think.
Thanks to everyone for being so supportive. If you have any questions, reach out. Megan and I would love to talk to anyone. And just, we'd love to stay in touch. So thank you to everyone.
All right. Thank you for being on. I'm going to stop the recording if I can find where.